first thing we need to do is assemble the pump. There's 3 pieces to this. First, we want to connect the gauge to the pump. And I want to start with the gauge facing down, so when we turn and tighten it, it's going to be facing up. Next, we need to connect the hose to the pump. Make sure everything is snug. So now that the pump is assembled, we're ready to inflate the board. You're going to want to connect the hose to the valve on the board. But first, let's go over how the valve works. There's a spring inside of it, and in the up position, it will allow air to go in, but not out. And when the spring is in its down position, it's going to allow air in as well as out. So now let's connect the nozzle of the hose to the valve on the board. So when inflating the board, you want to have the valve in its up position. So when you disconnect the hose, no air will leak out. Note that with brand new boards, these can be hard to plug in. So you might have to force it down a bit and twist in a clockwise motion. You will feel it snug and tighten once in place. After a few uses, it will get easier to tighten. Now it's ready to be pumped. Use the complete range of motion to get the most out of every pump. Note that the gauge will only start to move when the pressure gets to at least 5 psi. The board might seem rigid, but the pressure is not there yet, so keep pumping. Don't worry about overinflating it. The board can take a lot of pressure. Pump it up until you get to between 10 and 15 psi, depending on the desired pressure. Once there, unscrew the hose and close the valve cap.